Be me, 42-year-old sociology professor. Spent 15 years building my career studying institutional inequality and power structures. Published 2 monographs. Tenure track, respected in my field. Divorced 3 years ago after marriage became intellectually incompatible. He wanted different things. Couldn't grow with me. Have 3 kids, shared custody arrangement. Maya is 16, brilliant and thoughtful. Claire is 14, creative and sensitive. Ethan is 13, quiet but observant. They spend alternating weeks with me and their father. My weeks are about fostering independence and critical thinking. No arbitrary rules, no gendered expectations. Maya and Claire choose their own activities. No pressure about appearance or domesticity. Ethan learns to cook, clean, express emotions. We have intellectual dinner conversations about the world. I'm raising them to question everything. 6 months ago, their father remarried. Jennifer, her name is Jennifer, met her at some church function apparently. She's maybe 35, never had a career. Went from her parents' house to being supported by various boyfriends to now being supported by my ex. The kids started talking about her constantly. Jennifer makes fresh bread every morning. Jennifer knows how to sew costumes. Jennifer volunteers at the church. Jennifer this, Jennifer that. Noticed they seemed lighter when they came back from their father's house. Thought maybe it was just newness. Honeymoon phase of the remarriage. Figured they'd see through it eventually. Started noticing changes, though. Maya asking if she could learn to bake. Not just baking, but specifically domestic baking. Cookies, pies, elaborate cakes. Claire suddenly interested in these traditional crafts. Embroidery, knitting, things I'd never exposed her to because I didn't want to channel her into feminine boxes. Ethan started talking about helping Jennifer's father fix the deck, woodworking, traditional masculine tasks. Felt like watching my careful parenting being undone. Everything I'd worked to teach them about rejecting prescribed gender roles, dissolving in front of my eyes, tried to be measured about it, didn't want to alienate them. Asked Maya why the sudden interest in baking. She said Jennifer taught her how to make croissants from scratch. Said it was meditative, rewarding. Said Jennifer wakes up at 5 a.m. to prepare breakfast for everyone. The whole family eats together every morning. I work early. Kids usually grab cereal or yogurt on their own, teaching them self-sufficiency. But Maya had this wistful tone when describing these family breakfasts, like I was failing her somehow. Claire showed me a dress Jennifer helped her make. Full skirt, fitted bodice. Completely impractical, the kind of thing that signals femininity as performance. Claire was beaming. Said Jennifer told her she had a natural eye for color and fabric. Said Jennifer was teaching her to make her own clothes. I wanted to explain how the fashion industry commodifies women's bodies, how the expectation of decorative femininity is a cage. But Claire looked so happy. Swallowed my words. Ethan came home with a birdhouse he built, rough around the edges, but functional. Said Jennifer's father was teaching him carpentry every weekend. Said he was going to build a bookshelf next. I wanted to ask why Jennifer's father, and not Jennifer. Wanted to point out the gendered division of labor, this silent sorting of skills by sex. But Ethan never showed interest in building things with me. I'd offered, tried to engage him in various projects. He always seemed disconnected at my house, suddenly thriving in this traditional structure. The comments kept coming. Jennifer packs elaborate lunches for everyone. Jennifer knows everyone in the neighborhood. Jennifer organizes family game nights. Their father leaves for work, comes home, dinner is ready. Jennifer manages the entire household. Classic second shift labor exploitation, but they described it like some kind of paradise. Meanwhile, at my house, everyone has agency. Everyone contributes to chores through negotiated consensus. No one person performs domestic labor. We discuss, we share, we question hierarchies. But I could see them comparing. could see them noticing that at their father's house things just worked. Someone had already thought through the meals. Someone had already organized the systems. They just existed in a prepared environment. Started feeling defensive about my parenting. Reminded myself I was giving them tools for liberation, teaching them to reject oppressive structures, preparing them for a world that would try to force them into boxes. Jennifer was teaching them to accept those boxes, to find comfort in submission to traditional roles. Maybe my kids couldn't see it yet, but they would eventually. When Maya got to college and saw how women in traditional roles are constrained, when Claire tried to have a career and realized the domestic skills Jennifer taught her were a trap, when Ethan perpetuated patriarchal expectations in his own relationships, they'd understand what I was trying to protect them from. Then, 2 months ago, things shifted. Maya asked to stay extra days at her father's house, said Jennifer was teaching her to drive, and they had planned practice sessions. I'm perfectly capable of teaching her to drive. I taught her older cousin. But Maya said Jennifer had more time, more patience, implicit criticism of my work schedule. I'm building a career, producing knowledge. Jennifer has nothing but time because she's economically dependent. Claire started requesting to switch her weeks, wanted more time at her father's house, said Jennifer was helping her prepare for the school play, making her costume, running lines, doing her makeup. I offered to help. Claire said it was already handled by the woman who had nothing else to do. I have tenure meetings, research deadlines, students to advise. Apparently being professionally accomplished made me less available, less desirable as a parent. Ethan just went quiet, stopped talking much when he was at my house. I'd ask about school, about friends, about his interests. One-word answers. At his father's house, apparently he was chatty, helpful, engaged, part of the family rhythm. At my house, he drifted to his room. Headphones on, door closed. I gave him space, respected his autonomy, didn't want to be one of those controlling parents. But the distance hurt. Started noticing they brought less back and forth between houses. Their things were migrating to their father's house. Maya's books, Claire's art supplies, Ethan's games. Asked about it casually. They said it was just easier. Easier to keep things where they spent more time. They were spending more time there. Actively choosing the traditional household over mine. Choosing the structure I'd divorced their father to escape. Felt like a failure. Felt like everything I'd tried to teach them was meaningless. They were being seduced by the comfort of prescribed roles, the ease of not having to question. Jennifer provided answers. I provided questions. Apparently, questions were exhausting. Decided I needed to address it directly. Couldn't watch my children be absorbed into patriarchal structures without saying something. Would be abandoning my responsibility as a mother, as a feminist, as someone who understands these systems. Planned a family dinner 3 weeks ago. Made it special, or tried to. Ordered Thai food from their favorite place. Set the table nicely. Wanted to create an environment for honest conversation. They arrived from their father's house at 6 p.m. Maya looked annoyed to be there. Claire was polite but distant. Ethan said nothing. We sat down to eat. I asked about their weeks, minimal responses. Asked about school. Fine, good, okay. The silence felt accusatory, like I was the outsider in my own children's lives. Jennifer probably knew more about their daily experiences than I did. Jennifer, who had no job, no purpose beyond servicing their needs. Jennifer, who was teaching my daughters that their value came from domestic performance. Jennifer, who was teaching my son that women existed to serve. Couldn't hold it in anymore. Needed them to understand. Needed them to see what was happening. Put down my fork. Told them I needed to talk about something important. Maya rolled her eyes. Actually rolled her eyes at me. Her mother, who sacrificed for her education, her opportunities. Told them I'd noticed they were spending more time at their father's house. Said I understood the appeal. Said Jennifer makes it easy, makes it comfortable. Said traditional structures can feel appealing because they remove ambiguity. Everyone has a role. Everyone knows expectations. Claire interrupted. Said Jennifer doesn't make anything easy. Said Jennifer works harder than anyone she knows. Said I didn't understand. I kept my voice calm. Said I did. Understand. Said I understood exactly what was happening. Said their father's household operates on a traditional nuclear family structure. Said Jennifer's role as stay-at-home wife reinforces patriarchal gender roles. Maya's face closed off. I kept going. Said, I know it seems nice. Said, I know it seems harmonious. But that harmony comes at a cost. The cost is women's autonomy. The cost is the restriction of human potential to biological categories. Told them explicitly. The structure they're enjoying is fundamentally oppressive to women. It teaches that women's primary value is domestic service. It teaches that men are breadwinners and women are caregivers. These are the exact patriarchal gender roles that harm society, that limit everyone's full humanity, that I've spent my career studying and exposing. Ethan stood up from the table. Didn't say anything, just stood up and walked to his room. I called after him. He didn't turn around. Claire's eyes were wet. She said quietly that I don't know anything about Jennifer. Said Jennifer is happy. Said their dad is happy. Said everyone is happy, except me. I tried to explain that individual happiness within oppressive structures doesn't negate the oppression, that comfort and justice aren't the same thing. Claire left the table too. Just Maya left. She looked at me with something like pity. Said I was so obsessed with my theories, I couldn't see reality. Said Jennifer chose her life. Said Jennifer has agency. Said maybe my problem was that I couldn't respect choices different from mine. I said, choice feminism is a neoliberal fantasy. Said individual choices don't exist outside of structural constraints. Said Jennifer's choices are shaped by patriarchal expectations. Maya said, at least Jennifer doesn't make everyone miserable with constant analysis. Said at least at Dad's house they can just exist. Said I turn everything into a lecture. Then she left too. Sat alone at the table. Thai food getting cold. Felt the anger rising. How dare they? How dare they dismiss my knowledge, my expertise? I've spent 2 decades studying gender, power, institutional oppression. I've read the theory, conducted the research, taught hundreds of students, my own children acting like I'm making it up. Like patriarchy is just my opinion. Like their father's household isn't a textbook example of gender role enforcement. They stayed in their rooms the rest of the night, didn't come out for dessert, didn't say goodnight. Next morning, they were picked up early. Maya had texted their father to get them. I tried to talk to them before they left. They looked through me, literal silent treatment, from all 3. Figured they needed time to process. Sent texts the next few days. Read receipts confirmed they saw them. No responses. Called. Straight to voicemail. Tried reaching out through their father. He said they needed space. Said I'd hurt them. I hurt them by telling the truth? By trying to educate them about oppression? He said I called his wife oppressed to her face. Said I insulted his family. Told him I was describing a structure, not attacking Jennifer personally. He said the kids don't see a difference. Hung up on me. That was 3 weeks ago. They were supposed to come back for their week with me. They refused. Their father said he wasn't going to force them. Said they were old enough to choose. Contacted my lawyer. She said family court would likely side with teenagers' preferences. Said, unless I could prove harm in the other household. I explained the harm. The reinforcement of gender roles, the modeling of female subordination. She meant physical harm, neglect. Apparently, ideological harm doesn't count. Tried to get them to talk through their father. He said they'd talk when they were ready. It's been 3 weeks. No calls, no texts, no responses. Maya's birthday was last week. I dropped off a present, left on the porch. No acknowledgement. Started questioning everything, not my principles. My principles are sound, based on rigorous scholarship, but my approach. Should I have been gentler? Should I have let them come to realizations on their own? But that's the problem with oppression. People don't always see it. Women defend patriarchy. The colonized internalize the colonizer. The oppressed protect their oppression. My job as their mother was to give them consciousness, to raise them with critical awareness. Talk to my colleague Dernissa. She has kids, works in feminist philosophy. Told her the situation. She listened, asked questions, asked how I framed it. I explained I was clear and direct, used precise language, named the oppression. She winced. Said sometimes precision alienates. Said kids need to feel heard, not lectured. I wasn't lecturing. I was educating. There's a difference. She suggested I apologize for the delivery, if not the content. Apologize? For telling the truth? For trying to protect my daughters from internalizing their own subordination? For trying to prevent my son from becoming another man who expects domestic service? Dernissa said I could be right and still be wrong in how I handled it. Said relationships matter more than being correct. But what's a relationship built on silence about oppression? What's a mother's love if it doesn't include protecting children from harmful ideologies? Went back through my research, reread articles on gender socialization. Everything confirmed what I told them. Traditional nuclear families reproduce patriarchal relations. Stay-at-home wives perform uncompensated labor. Children in these structures learn gendered expectations. The data is clear. My analysis was correct, but my children aren't speaking to me. My children chose the patriarchal household. My children are rejecting everything I taught them, and I'm alone. Tried to write them a letter. Explained my concerns came from love, from wanting them to have full, liberated lives. Wanted them to understand the constraints they couldn't see. Read it. Sounded like a lecture. Wrote another version. Just apologizing for hurting them. Not for what I said. Couldn't bring myself to send it, because I wasn't sorry for the content. Just for their reaction. Colleague asked how I was doing. Told him my kids weren't speaking to me. He asked what happened. Told him I critiqued their father's traditional household structure. He nodded sympathetically. Said kids don't always appreciate perspective. Said they'd understand when they were older. Maybe. Or maybe Jennifer's model would shape them permanently. Maybe Maya would become a stay-at-home wife. Maybe Claire would prioritize marriage over career. Maybe Ethan would expect his future wife to perform Jennifer's role. And it would be my fault for not fighting harder. Except I did fight, and lost them completely. Started having imaginary conversations. What I should have said differently. How I could have made them understand. Maybe if I'd asked more questions. Why do you think Jennifer chooses to stay home? What do you think she gave up for that choice? How do you think gender roles are constructed? Socratic method instead of direct statement. But that feels manipulative, leading them to my conclusion while pretending it's theirs. The honest truth is, I think I was right. Their father's household is oppressive. Jennifer is recreating patriarchal dynamics. My children are learning harmful gender roles. Everything I said was accurate, but accuracy doesn't seem to matter. They're gone either way. Looked at my calendar. They were supposed to be here this week. Their rooms are empty. Maya's calculus homework still on her desk from 3 weeks ago. Claire's sketchbook on the coffee table. Ethan's jacket on the coat rack. The house feels like a museum of my failure. Tried to understand their perspective. At their father's house, there's stability, routine, predictability. Someone always there. Meals prepared, laundry done, attention available. Jennifer has nothing to do but focus on them. Here they have independence, responsibility, autonomy. I'm often working, researching, writing, teaching them self-sufficiency. But maybe they didn't want self-sufficiency. Maybe they wanted croissants at 6 a.m. That thought made me angry again. So I should have sacrificed my career? Should have abandoned my research? Become another stay-at-home mother? Reproduced the exact oppression I've spent my life fighting? My work matters. My scholarship contributes to human knowledge. I'm changing how we understand gender and power. That's more important than fresh bread. Has to be. But my children disagree. My children chose bread. Thought about reaching out to Jennifer, woman to woman, explaining that I wasn't attacking her. Was critiquing a structure. But I was attacking her. Her life is the structure. Her choices are the structure. She is the embodiment of what I oppose. Can't separate the woman from the role she's chosen. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe I can't see Jennifer as a full person, only as a patriarchal wife, only as an example of false consciousness, only as the thing stealing my children. But my children see her as someone who loves them, who has time for them, who makes them feel valued. Got an email from Maya's school, parent-teacher conferences next week. I'm still listed as primary contact. Will they be there? Will they sit with their father and Jennifer? Will I be the outside parent? The one who doesn't know what's happening in their daily lives? The one who has to ask teachers for information? Called the school. Asked if their father had updated contact information. They said both parents are listed. Conferences scheduled separately. I have a time, he has a time. At least I won't have to see them. Won't have to watch my children be comfortable with Jennifer. Won't have to face how I've been replaced. Teaching my feminist theory seminar feels hollow now, talking about patriarchal family structures, how they constrain women and men, how they reproduce inequality. My students nod, take notes, write papers. They believe me. They see it. My own children don't. One student asked about resistance within families. How do we challenge oppression in intimate spaces? I gave her the theoretical answer. Consciousness raising, modeling egalitarian relationships, refusing gendered expectations. Didn't mention that my modeling drove my children away, that my refusal of gendered expectations made them seek exactly those expectations. That consciousness raising at the dinner table created consciousness of how much they preferred unconsciousness. Dernis asked if I'd heard from them. Shook my head. She said I should try apologizing, really apologizing, not justifying. I asked what I'd be apologizing for. For being right? She said for prioritizing being right over being connected. Said I could hold my values and still acknowledge their pain. Said their children experiencing their mother's judgment of their happiness. They don't have theoretical frameworks yet. They just know I called their safe space oppressive. But it is oppressive. That's not name-calling. It's analysis. How do I apologize for analysis? Decided to try one more text to Maya. She's the oldest, most likely to understand. Typed it out carefully. Said I loved her. Said I missed her. Said I wanted to talk. Sent it. Watched the read receipt. Waited. Nothing. Still nothing. Claire posted on social media. Picture of something she made with Jennifer. Elaborate quilted wall hanging. Dozens of comments about how talented she is. How beautiful the work is. Jennifer commented with hearts. Their father commented with pride. I wasn't tagged. I wasn't mentioned. Like I don't exist. Wanted to comment. Wanted to remind her I exist. Wanted to say I'm proud too. But it felt desperate. Felt like forcing myself into a space I wasn't wanted. Closed the app. Ethan's teacher emailed me. Said he seemed withdrawn lately. Asked if everything was okay at home. Which home? The one where he doesn't speak to me? Or the one where he's apparently thriving? Wrote back that there was a family situation. I was handling it. Didn't know what else to say. My ex-husband texted. First direct contact in weeks. Said the kids asked to change custody arrangement formally. Want to stay primarily with him. Visit me when ready. Felt like a kick to the chest. Asked if he was encouraging this. He said he was respecting their feelings. Said I should think about why they felt this way. I know why they feel this way. Because patriarchal structures are appealing. Because oppression is comfortable. Because questioning is hard. And they're children who want easy answers. Looked at the custody agreement. Technically, they're old enough for their preferences to matter. Family court would likely approve the change. I could fight it, could force them to come back. But forcing them here when they don't want to be here, what would that accomplish? They'd resent me more. I'd be the oppressive parent, the irony. Called my sister, told her everything. She listened, then asked why I felt the need to share my opinion about their father's household. Said it was none of my business. I said it was exactly my business. They're my children. She said they're also his children. Said they're old enough to form their own opinions. Said I should have trusted them to think critically without my intervention. But that's the problem. Critical thinking has to be taught, has to be modeled. Can't just emerge naturally in an oppressive structure. She sighed. Said I always had to be right, even when being right cost me everything. Hung up on her too. Sitting in my empty house now. It's Wednesday evening. They'd normally be here. Maya would be doing homework at the dining table. Claire would be drawing in the living room. Ethan would be playing games in his room. I'd be reading, writing, preparing tomorrow's lecture. Comfortable silence. Independent coexistence. That's what I thought we had. Turns out it was just silence, questioning whether I should apologize, whether I was wrong. Not wrong about the analysis, wrong about the timing, the approach, the necessity. Should have let them be happy. Even if their happiness was constructed by oppressive structures. Even if Jennifer's performance of traditional femininity was teaching my daughters to limit themselves. Even if their father's household was reproducing patriarchy. Should have just let it happen. Been the fun parent, the one who didn't make everything complicated. But I can't be that parent. Can't pretend I don't see what I see. Can't unfeel what I know. Can't watch my children be absorbed into systems I've spent my life fighting, without saying something. Except saying something cost me everything. Maybe I'll write another letter. Try to explain not just the analysis, but the love behind it. How wanting liberation for them looks like criticism. How protecting them from patriarchy feels like judgment. How my feminism is inseparable from my motherhood. Maybe they'll understand someday. Maybe when Maya is in college and sees how her male classmates expect less of themselves domestically. Maybe when Claire tries to have both career and family and sees the impossible expectations. Maybe when Ethan notices how his female friends carry different burdens. They'll remember what I tried to teach them. They'll understand I was right. Or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll build lives inside the structures I critiqued. Maybe they'll be happy there. Maybe my being right won't matter at all. 3 weeks of silence. 3 weeks of empty rooms. 3 weeks of wondering if I should have just smiled. Just nodded. Just let Jennifer bake her bread and sew her costumes and perform her subordination. Just let my children enjoy it without analysis. But that's not who I am. I'm a scholar. I'm a feminist. I see oppression and I name it. Even when naming it costs me my children. Especially then. Sitting here now. Phone silent, house empty. Wondering if the fight was worth it. Knowing I can't be anyone other than who I am. Knowing they can't see me as anyone other than who they wish I wasn't. Still haven't apologized. Still don't know how to apologize for telling the truth. Still waiting for them to understand. Still alone.